And welcome back, listeners. Here we are again, back at Cup of Confidence, the place to be. I always say that, the place to be, but I really do mean that. The things that you'll learn along the way is just amazing. So, look, even though this is Cup of Confidence and we get a little tips and bits about confidence, really and truly, it's all about our guests when they share their authentic experience. And we learn that from others as well about confidence building, the place we were at, and realize, look, we're all the same in one way or another. We all started somewhere. So, look, I'm not going to talk too long because here we are, and we're going to jump straight in with our guest. I want to welcome here Florence. Yay! Welcome, Flory. How you doing?
I am very well, Chris.
Ah, that's great. That's great. Now, our listeners out there, I know you heard me say Florence Aqua, and I said we got to keep this authentic, you know. All right, I've known Florence for quite a while, and I've always known her as Flory, and I'm sure you don't mind me calling her Flory right here now, do
Not
you?
at all, not at all. Only a
Great,
special
great, great.
few,
So,
only a special few people can call
sorry.
me sorry. Only a special few people
Ah, I feel
can
so good about that. You know, thank you, thank you. All right then. So, listen, Flory, you know what? You're here on Cup of Confidence, and I want to know, have you got your cup with you?
Here it is. Here's,
Yay!
here's my cup of
Cheers!
confidence. Cheers.
Cheers! You know, it's really funny. I'm looking at my cup. I've usually got the traditional, this is the Cup of Confidence cup, the trademark. But today I went with this. But then when I looked over and I saw your cup and you got red on the inside, tell me about your cup.
Well, so this cup was given to me by my niece for my birthday earlier this year. She knows that I'm a nurse.
Ah,
She knows that I'm a nurse, and
oh,
she's sort of there are certain affirmations. So it says nurse affirmations on the cup. So you've got something like I am a daily source of strength
wow,
and unwavering support. Yeah, I can
wow.
get through the toughest days. And then another one here says, I am grateful for all that I have. So it's just little affirmations on the cup so that when I look at it, it gives me the, good feeling, confidence to go through the day. There we go. Chin chin.
Listen, you know what? That cup is sounds brilliant. It sounds like a cup we need on Cup of Confidence, you
Well,
know? It
you can
sounds
have it.
exactly what we need. Yeah, want one of them, put it in an order, okay? Well, listen, mine isn't as fantastic as yours. It's fantastic, but mine is my wife, myself, your dear best friend, right, went on a trip to Switzerland and we went to Geneva, right? So this was a cup to pick up, and wherever we go in Cup of Confidence, we pick up a mug and a cup and we go
Wow.
with it too. Yeah,
Wow.
but I'll
Okay.
just say your cup is just brilliant. Your cup is just brilliant. I want
Thank
one,
you.
right?
Thank you.
Tell your niece that from me as well, okay?
I will. I
So,
will.
okay, cheers on that. What's in your cup?
It's one of those Twinings teas, what's it? It's ginger and honey.
Nice. That sounds healthy. We like healthy ones. I wish I could have said it right now. I usually have the healthy ones, but today I've got cappuccino. But cappuccino's good for you, so I just feel like it coming on. All right, okay. So
Absolutely.
listen, here we are on Cup of Confidence, and we are really thankful to have you on board, Florida, because you've got a vast world of experience. And we'd like to start at the beginning. Tell us about yourself. What do you do? And who are you?
Thank you, Chris. That's a big question. What do I do and who am I? So, who am I? As you said, my name is Florence Aqua. I was born
Mhm.
here, but my parents are Ghanaian. So, I grew up in Ghana
Hey,
for about 10 years. And then I came back to this country, the UK, my home country, to study nursing. So, I did nursing, midwifery, and I've worked in the NHS now for 37 years. Can you imagine?
did you say 37
I
years?
said 37. I started on the 21st of April, 1987.
Wow. Hang on. Listeners, doesn't she look like a baby? Did you hear what she said? 37 years. Doesn't she look like a baby there? Oh my gosh. Carry on. Tell us about it.
So, so I've had varied posts as working as a nurse or as a midwife. For the last 20
Yeah.
years, I've been in management, and it
Hmm.
takes a certain kind of person to be in management, especially when you have responsibility for other people. And I think
Right.
how you sort of how you set the day as a manager is how the office, the tone, the atmosphere is set. And I think, and I hope, and I pray that, I have set atmospheres that are positive, that are not,
Hmm.
toxic, where people can, be themselves. And I mean, I know I've had certain jobs that, we would laugh our heads off. We knew when to work
Hmm.
and we knew when to laugh. So again, it's one of those things that as a leader, you have to set the tone, and you yourself have to come to the table with some integrity as well. So I hope, and I said, and I pray that, the people that I have led, in different projects over the years, that, I have been a source of inspiration, because I have had other people who've managed me be that source of
Hmm.
inspiration as well.
Wow. You notice daily living is something that we need to be conscious about, the sort of fragrance that we leave where we pass and make a change
Absolutely.
in people's lives. Sounds like you do that in your office.
Yeah, because sometimes you can have a very fleeting meeting with somebody, and what is the
Hmm.
impression that you left by? Is it an impression that was
Right.
positive, or was it a negative impression? And you'd
Right.
like to think that when people, and it's also an honor to be in other people's presence. I know
Yeah.
we all come to a job, but we come to the job for, first and foremost, the patient, and then
Right.
you sort of build everything around that. So it's important that when we come together, we do the best that we can.
Right. Tell me this while you're saying that, saying we jump straight into work situation. Tell me your title again, your job role title.
Well, currently I'm a safeguarding adults designate nurse, and I work in a London integrated care board. So my role sort of
Really?
encompasses, protecting those that are vulnerable, adults that are vulnerable, anybody over 18 that are vulnerable in relation to any
Hmm.
abuse. So whether it's financial abuse, domestic abuse, human trafficking, modern slavery. So the list goes on and on. So that is what I do. I'm the strategic lead for the integrated care.
Right. Wow, that's quite a responsibility at the end of the day. What would a day to day for Florence in that role be?
Wow.
So
Um,
you walked in tomorrow.
No 2 days are the same. Yeah, because let's face it,
Right.
human beings, we're all different. Yeah, so no 2 days are the same. So when I walk into
Right.
the office, first and foremost, I have loads of emails that I have to look at, because people,
Right.
colleagues may be asking me questions from what we call the
Hmm.
provider. So the provider is the NHS trust, the acute trust, the mental
Right.
health trust. So I
Hmm.
could get a message from there. Internally to the organization, there are different teams that I have to, interact with, because again, this is the
Right.
commissioning arm of the NHS. So my presence on a tender, on somebody wanting to deliver service to the local area, need to make sure that
Hmm.
safeguarding is part of the procurement process, so that I oversee anything in relation to safeguarding adults over there. I also have
Wow.
an opposite number, i.e., safeguarding children. So the two of us work hand in hand. Then we have safeguarding looked after children. So the three of us also work hand in hand, because it's a generational thing from the cradle to the grave.
Right. 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 That sounds very crucial. I'm sure it makes a difference to many lives who are threatened or endangered in any kind of way. And to, as I say, prevention is better than cure. So well
Absolutely.
done. Well. that, you know. In saying that, taking the fact that you have to deal with, I'd say, a certain level of pressure and commitment to individuals, would you say that you'd always been that person that can handle all these things and juggle at the same time and all these different pressures?
I think, I have grown into this. When I came into the NHS, I was very young. So I didn't have
Right.
any world experience. I've been under my mom's care, and now I was in
Right.
this big wide world. So I've had to, over the years, with courses, and also making sure that you have a very good group of friends and family around you. Because again,
Right.
when you are low, not to say that you don't get low, because if you listen to abuse, the different abuses that are going on in a particular community, community area, sometimes it gets to
Hmm.
you. So you have to, have good, networks that support you as well. And the organization also supports us as well with supervision, for instance. So for me,
Right.
no, I wasn't this confident person when I started, or I like to think I wasn't. But I've grown into the role, and now I'm pretty confident, in terms of my subject matter area. So, the things that I do, I make sure that I'm up to date with all the latest things
Right.
that are happening as much as I possibly can. So that when I'm also giving
Hmm.
advice, I give advice confidently and support colleagues confidently.
Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. So here's where we go. We're gonna uncover a few things here right now, right? Because in Cup of Confidence, sometimes we have titles, we have roles, and it takes someone to actually fit into that role. But when we talk about the someone, the inner person,
Yeah.
right? So for our viewers and listeners right now, I'm going to ask you this: as a child, were you always just confident as you are now?
Who, me? Yes. I think I was one of those children that was inquisitive.
Right.
And I know. When I went to secondary school, for instance, obviously when you go as a junior, then you're sort of going up the ladder to a senior. But as a junior
Hmm.
person, I was actually quite confident that I could sort of hold my own when seniors came to say whatever it is that they wanted to say. So I think I've always had that level of confidence. But again, confidence comes with experience as well. So as I have grown, my experience in confidence has grown as well. So I think, yes, as a child, I
Right.
was confident.
Right. So, how would you define the word confidence? What would you say? While I have my cup as well.
Confidence for me is being able to stand up and,
Hmm.
let's say, for instance, do I have the confidence to deliver training in front of 200 people? The thought
Hmm.
of 200 people, that alone can send shivers down your spine. And also for the fact
Oh
that
yeah.
you never know what somebody's going to ask you for a question. But confidence
Right.
is that you don't know everything. When I'm not the font of all knowledge. Confidence also means that if I'm asked a question and I don't know, I should say I don't know and I can get back to that person. So,
Right.
confidence comes in different ways, at different times, because again, we're human. So there could be times where you're not as confident. And I think one time that I noticed that my confidence had slipped a little bit was I had to be off sick for work for about 3 months. And when I came
Oh
back,
wow.
I thought that, I was second guessing myself. Then I think I just said to myself, you've only been away for 12 weeks. Get on with it. You know what it is you're doing. And after I had that pep talk with myself, I managed to recover my confidence, because,
Right.
the world doesn't stand still. So in the 12 weeks that I was away, different things would have happened that I wasn't obviously privy to. So sometimes these things can unstable you. But then once you get
Hmm.
your confidence back, you're able to sort of get back into the game, so to speak.
Right. Right. So, you know what I'd like to ask you? What sort of pep talk did you have with yourself? Many of us go through certain situations. And I could remember a really funny situation about confidence. And but I'll tell you that after. What sort of pep talk would you have with yourself?
No, I think the pep talk I had with myself is, Florence, pull yourself together. You know your stuff. Yes, you've been
Right.
away, but step back in and be the person who people know you to be. And I think I just needed to have that, conversation with myself, and also, then link in with my team, because again, as a team leader, sometimes people feel there's the perception that you know everything. No, I don't.
Yeah.
So it's about also having that vulnerability to go to your team and say, oh, by the way, what's going on? I haven't been here for a while. Update me. And then you get back into the swing of things.
Right. That's really interesting, that you said that because in coaching, we always talk about the sort of inner dialogue that people have with themselves. And sometimes we have very positive inner dialogue, and sometimes we have this little gremlin who keeps telling you you're not good enough or whatnot. And you said something that was very key. And one of them is preparation. You know what you know already. So if you could tell yourself how much you actually know and how valuable you are, chances are you're going to overcome that in that sense. But sometimes people have a inner dialogue that tells them the opposite wherever they go. Oh, it's going to fail. Oh, this is going to happen. Oh, I won't get the job. Oh, this, oh, that, and everything. And then, self-fulfilling prophecy starts to
Mhm.
begin. So,
Absolutely.
in saying that, I'd say this. Look, you've come a long way. It's quite a journey. You got a lot of knowledge there. You're helping many people each and every day, and you still got that joy over you every time I see you. Every time nobody will think that you do what you do. So how do you keep that? What do you do in your spare time?
What do I do in my spare time? You know
Mhm.
me, I bake lots of cake.
Oh, you know what? I'm not going to tease that out. Listen, listeners. You know what? Um, Flori's like sister, at the end of the day. And she bakes some beautiful cakes. I'm going to show you right now what her cakes look like, right? Okay, so keep your eyes on here. Okay, all right. So she bakes some beautiful cakes. I'm going to say decorative. Where did you pick up that skill?
You know what? It was just something that I needed to relax me, because,
Yeah.
I do have a very sort of, can be quite taxing job. So for me, baking a
Mhm.
cake and sitting there to think, how can I decorate this cake, for instance, to make Chris smile? So I look at it, and then I have my own sort of, and I do some research as well. I said, oh, do I like this cake? I'll go on Pinterest or, other places. Then I say, okay, I'll add this to this, to this, to this, and then that would be the cake for Chris, so to speak.
Ah,
So, for me, it's the art of, doing something that is fun, doing something that at the
yeah.
end of it, it's appreciated, and doing something that tastes good. It's yummy.
Oh, you got all the ingredients there. And talk about because what Flori does is my birthday's at Christmas, and every time she comes around with a birthday cake, and she tops it every year. I've got to keep showing you these photographs of them as well. So well done, and let me tell you, gladly appreciated. So,
Yeah.
Florence, you know what? We talked about a few things on there, right? We talked about the journey. We talked about what you actually do, right? Tell us about yourself back in Ghana when you were younger, little.
Okay. So when I got to Ghana, I was like 8 or 9, one of them,
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
we okay, living in West Germany as it was at the time was myself, my sister, mom, and
Hmm.
dad. So they emigrated
Okay.
back to the home country, Ghana, and then I got to
Hmm.
know my grandparents, maternal and paternal. But paternal, it was only my
Hmm.
grandmother there. Then I got to find out
Right.
my aunties and uncles. So my mom is the
Mhm.
oldest. So all my cousins, I'm older than them. So I have seen them being born, and they were like my own living dolls. I'd go, I'll play
Hmm.
with them, bath time, I'll help bath them, do all these things, that
Right.
was fun. And I had my
Right.
sort of primary education in Ghana and my secondary education in Ghana. So for me, if
Okay.
I look back, I loved my primary school and I loved my secondary school. And in Ghana too, we go to boarding school. Yeah. So for
Hmm.
me, you know, the Christmas holidays are, they're over, or the summer holidays, and you're getting prepared to go back to school because guess what? You're going to meet all your friends and, you're going to get up to all sorts of stuff. So for me, Ghana was
Yeah.
fun. I enjoyed it, and and it was my source of security because obviously my parents were there, my sister was there. So it was a huge, huge step. But I had to come back to the UK to start my
Right.
nursing. I was absolutely devastated, and
Right.
and I think it took quite a while. And when I say a while, not it's not months, it's years for me to get over that because everything that I held sacred to me, I had left behind
Right.
in Ghana. Saying that, I did come and
Wow.
stay with my mom's sister, but I hadn't seen her in 10 years. So again, it was sort
Wow.
of re-establishing those links, with my auntie and her husband, my uncle, and then their two children. One was one, and then the other one was
Mhm.
six, and now they're in their 40s. So, I've seen them grow up. I used to babysit them, and they would sometimes tell me things that I allowed them to do, and I said, "Oh gosh, did I really allow you to do that?" So it was quite fun. I
Wow.
thoroughly enjoyed Ghana because again, I got friends. So I have a lot of
Yeah.
friends that I have from Ghana itself, and I do have a lot of friends from the UK as well.
Right. So, would you say with all these friends, that for anybody, it helps to have a support group around you?
Absolutely. Well, as you know, your wife, my beautiful
Yeah.
Hayes, is a friend of mine from way back when. When we were back at Joyce Green Hospital in Dartford in Kent. No more, may I say.
Yeah.
That's how we met. And those of us there, we had this sort of group. So we always went out together. So I'm African, Hazel is West Indian, from Trinidad and Tobago. Then we had other, colleagues and friends from different parts of Ghana and the Caribbean, and we just sort of we naturally vegetated towards each other, and we used to have
Right.
Christmas parties. They say you have a lime, so that's the West Trinidadian way. So I got to taste roti and all those things that I'd never tasted before. I tasted it,
Wow.
courtesy of Hazel and the other girls from the West Indies, and likewise they tasted our jollof, and the Ghanaian one is the best,
Yeah.
by the way. Don't let anybody tell you anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
We're
again,
gonna get people right in here.
exactly. So again, it's about making sure that you do have that support network within your circle. And listen, Hazel and I have been friends for over 30 years. 30 years, that's a long time. And we still maintain that friendship. And as her and I now, we'll go for walks in the park, going round and round,
Yeah.
chit-chatting. And
Yeah.
we did that yesterday actually, and it was nice, fresh. It was a bit cold, but it was fresh, and you feel yourself loosen up. We are talking about different things, laughing and saying "What?" and what have you. So it's good to have that in
Right.
friendship, but also hopefully within family as well, because my sister is also a designate, but she's for children. So she also understands what I go through and I
Right.
understand what she goes through. So sometimes we can talk it out as well.
Right. I find that really fascinating. I mean, what would you say to somebody who finds it hard to communicate and meet new friends and that's way? Because you've had quite a network, and I know you. You're sociable. You're confident in how you project yourself and everything. But not everybody feels that way. What would you say to somebody listening now and they say, "Wow, that sounds really good. I'd like to be like that, but I'm not." What would you say? Hmm.
Unique. Everybody's unique and
Hmm.
everybody's different. So sometimes,
Hmm.
challenge yourself. Step out of that comfort zone. That's not to say I don't ever step out of my comfort zone. I have zones that I feel uncomfortable in, and I say to myself, step and let's see what happens, because the worst somebody can say is no. Yeah. And
Yeah.
it's not going to affect me that greatly. For others it might, but I'll challenge
Right.
people to step out of their comfort zone, because that outstretched hand could be a handshake.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Right. Okay, I'm just jotting that down, right? You challenge them to step out their comfort zone. Listen, listeners, you got your pen and pad? Just talking to you. Step outside your comfort zone. Yeah. Saying that, I had a client one time who said to me one time when I talked about networking, I will never go networking. I don't want to network. I don't like networking and da 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 da. Right? Okay. The same thing he said. Started off with telling them to say a few hellos, even to strangers.
Yeah,
They started doing it. They were challenging. They were doing every day. Now you can't even get hold of them. Where are they? Networking events. And I just think it's
exactly.
important and to build a network as well of group awareness. So well done, and I totally
I'll just
go with the advice.
just say something funny. So obviously,
Yeah,
we've all had the pandemic, and sometimes we work from home,
yeah,
etc. So when I do go into the office, our business support said to me that, "Oh, Florence, every time we're in the office, everybody's trying to talk to you." So I'm thinking like, everybody, but that's how it comes across to her, and it's not as if I
right,
know everybody personally, but when people
right,
come and they say hello, I end up having a conversation because that's a new
right.
person that you've met today, and before you
Yeah,
only ever saw them on an MS Teams. Now you're seeing the real person, so when you see them you get
yeah.
excited. Oh my goodness, this is how you look, etc. So it's not as if I know everybody. I don't know everybody, but I just step out of that comfort zone to say hello because you'd be actually quite interested what you get back in returns.
Brilliant. And it's free. It's free, everybody. You know what I mean? Give a smile and you get one back free, and if you don't get it, move on. So yeah, I
Absolutely.
go with you on that. Okay. Listen, I'm gonna ask you this particular question, right? Little fun question here. Coffee or tea? Tea? Why?
Because I don't drink coffee.
We got some real lateral thinking here. Got that one straight away. Okay, what would be your favorite show?
What type of show? You mean television show?
Could be television, could be theatre, could be what I know you go to the
Oh,
theatre.
oh, The Lion King. The Lion
Wow,
King. I'm obsessed.
wow.
I've even banned myself from watching it again. I've watched it 7 times
Really?
already. Yeah,
7 times. The Lion King.
yeah, yeah.
My
I have the
wife always
video.
says the same. She
I
says
have
Lion
the
King. Sorry.
video. I have the video. I have the animated video, the one and I have just been to the theater to see it 7 times. It is out of this world because for me, for somebody to sit there and think of the puppetry, of the costumes, of the music,
Yeah,
the actors and actresses, it's mind blowing. So for me, The Lion King.
Lion King. You know what? Every time I talk about it to my wife about going out, she says Lion King as well all the time. And you two are one in a pod, man. I tell you, a in a pod because every time it's like Lion King. I thought I got to get around to that. I've seen
No,
Lion King, I've read it, but I haven't been to the theater one yet.
you
I think
should
I'm the
see.
only person, so I'm going to. I'm going to.
And,
Yeah,
and, and
that's all.
just to say, every
Yeah,
time I go, I see something new.
it's that good.
Yes, and I'm thinking
Wow.
like, oh, I didn't see that the last time because maybe because you're so excited, your eyes are going all over the place. But I see something
Right.
new every time I go, and I will
Right.
say it to the hilt, the Lion King.
All right, you just sold it. Everybody out there, let's all go and flood out that theatre and go and see The Lion King. And we got to come back and give some points of views on it as well and go with Flory on this and, send some messages through. Yeah, we're going to go see The Lion King. You sold it. We're going. We're going. We're going. But don't everybody go right now. I've got another question for Flory right here. Okay. Exercise. I think I kind of know this, but I'll ask you. Riding or walking?
Both,
A bit of
both.
both. Oh, I don't know the answer to this one then. Tell me about that. And why
Exactly.
is that?
Because I like to ride. I do like to ride. I've got a bicycle, so I like to ride. And Hazel and I used to do riding with
Right.
brother-in-law Lyndon and Gillian. Yeah. So yeah, I do like to ride.
Yeah.
And obviously, we like to walk. So we go to the park and literally we're walking around and around in circles for about an hour and a half. Just chatting and listening. Just to just to shake off, any stiff joints and what have you.
Brilliant, brilliant. And it's a stress buster as well, isn't it? Yeah. You know something else? I'll share this as well, everyone. How long's it been? It's been over a year and a bit now since you've been doing the walking. You and my wife have been walking, haven't you? Yeah. Now, when it first started, I was a little gremlin, right? I kept saying, "Yeah, let's see how long. Yeah, let's go on. Yeah." And every time if one of them went, I'll say, "See," and then they're still walking. They're still walking every time, religiously walking. So you know what? I'll take a leaf out of that and I'll say it's about consistency.
Exactly.
Consistency is what it's about. Just bit by bit and keep going. Before you know it, you're into a year and a bit and still walking. So
Absolutely.
consistency. I say, well done. Well done for keeping it going. Okay. Listen, Florence, you know what? There's something else as well. One thing, and I jot down, right, is we touched on a few topics, right? And we went from here today, we went back to come forward deliberately, right? Value. Value. I want to, and it's on value. Confidence. This is cup of confidence.
Hmm.
And in confidence is about value as well, about valuing yourself, valuing your abilities, value. Where do you stand on that? How do you see value?
Well, for me, value is important because if you don't value yourself, who
Hmm.
will value you? Because for me, as I said, we are all unique. Everybody is on this planet for a reason. So for me, I have to value me.
Right.
I don't want to invest in somebody else valuing me because they might never ever do that. So if I value me and give
Hmm.
myself validation, it then enables me to, do what I need to do. And then maybe in the
Right.
process, somebody else will value you, but I don't go and seek other people's value of me because I have to value myself.
Right. So when you say you don't seek other people's value in you, you have to value yourself, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Is that easy?
No, it isn't.
Growing up, is that easy? Growing up? How do you get to that point?
I think it's something that I've grown into because when I was younger, when you're younger, you want to impress. Or does this person value what I
Hmm.
do? So you're always wanting to impress. And more often than not, you get disappointed,
Hmm.
because the
Hmm.
person doesn't value you in the way that you expected them to value you. Then I thought that no, instead of asking for other people's value of me, how about I value myself and then take it from there? And so that's what obviously it takes courage, it takes confidence to be able to do that. So when I step out, into my role, Monday to
Hmm.
Friday, whatever hours that I work, I I am a valued member of the team. I'm a valued member of the organization, you know.
Right.
So here I
Right.
am, and this is what I'm doing.
Right. That's really good. That's really good. And I'm sure you out there is understanding that the whole concept of valuing yourself first instead of looking for others to value you for you to be who you are. Now, that could talk we could be talking about jobs, interviews, we could be talking about relationships, we could be talking about romantic relationships too. It's all about valuing yourself first. And when you value, just as Florence just said, others begin to value too for who you are. Now, that job that you didn't get, right? They just don't know how valuable you are and how much you can add to that company. So you move on, go to the other one. That relationship that, just didn't go too right. Don't worry about it. You got to value yourself and know who you are and what you're worth. Yeah, that's not saying the other person is a bad person or anything like that. Just saying that look, we got to learn how to value ourselves. Our confidence comes from different places, but it doesn't come from the outside in. It comes from the inside out, valuing you.
And
So
can I just say, when you said
do.
about what about the job, for instance? So these days, when I do sort of decide to go for a job and I don't get it, I just think it's their loss, not mine. because
Yeah,
I
exactly.
because my enthusiasm that I wanted, because obviously you have to have a level of enthusiasm to apply for a particular job. So you go for the job,
Yes,
you don't get it. Before, when I was younger, you get so gutted, gosh, what didn't I do right at the interview? Didn't I answer that question? But I go in with confidence. I deliver on what they want me to deliver on. But if I don't get it, I just say to myself, it's their loss, not mine. Florence, next one, next. And that is how I
exactly.
because I feel that sometimes we put too much emphasis, or we put too much pressure on ourselves, that sometimes
Yeah,
we go wrong. And for me, it's about, what is the quality of my life, what is the quality
yeah.
of what I'm doing.
Exactly. You couldn't have put a great example of that as well. And in the sense of moving on from the next job, it's good to learn what it is as well at the same time so that you can grow and realize why that job wasn't yours. But just don't let it disturb you. Keep that value in who
Yeah.
you are. 'Cause you've got a lot to share with the world. You've got a lot to contribute to business. You've got a lot to contribute to relationships. You've got a lot to, you know, give this world. So
Absolutely.
value you. That's a great one, Flory. I like that. I like that. I like that a lot. So listen, I'm going to say this. First of all, on behalf of all our listeners and viewers, Flory, thank you very much. You dropped some nuggets there that people can identify with and say, you know what? If she can do it, so can I. And that's what Copper Confidence is all about. We learn from each other. So on that note, I'd like to ask you one thing.
Okay.
A wise word about confidence and value to our audience there?
Hmm. Very good question. Let's have a look. Just say
I
that again.
know. I just
Say it again.
I'm just that kind of guy. Right? What would you like to share? Let's put it that way. Would you like to share some wise words with our listeners and viewers out there on the concept of confidence and value?
Yes, what I'll say is, love yourself, give yourself time to grow, because we're all learning. Learning is never you finish learning. The fact that we're alive, we're always in that learning pool. Give yourself
Yeah,
time to grow, and make the best of your life. Nobody can live your life for you. You are living your life. It's not a dress rehearsal. This is it. So enjoy it, and that's what I'll.
that is great. That is great. It's not a dress rehearsal, it's the real thing.
Yes,
I go with that. I think I'd sign off on that one itself. And the funny thing is, the more mature you get, the more you realize that even more you appreciate each day and realize, you know what? Let's make the best of it, no matter what.
absolutely.
So, Flori, I just want to say thank you very much on behalf of our listeners and our viewers. And thank you very much from me here on Cup of Confidence for taking part. It's been
My
great
pleasure.
having you.
My pleasure. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So, so what we're going to say is I'm going to swap a cup here. I'm going to say, cup of confidence to you
Same to you.
and all of you. God bless you. Bye bye.